Hi there. We're here today with a patient profile for our longtime patient, James Crabtree. He goes by Jim. And he's actually here to tell us about his life experience with hearing loss and hearing aids. And so this film is all about him. So Jim, tell me about when you first noticed your hearing loss.
I have had a hearing loss since I was a child. I remember going in first grade, taking the little hearing test, and afterwards they're like, Jimmy, you need to stay. And, oh, do you understand the instructions? You're supposed to raise your hand when you hear the beep. And I'm like, yeah, I just didn't hear it. I'm not stupid. So we do it over. So I went through that my whole life until probably 40. I kind of gave in. I'm like, I have to deal with this. And I got hearing devices when I was 40. That was what? Okay. Over 20 years ago. Let's put it that way.
And so you dealt with it for a while. What ultimately, you said you had to deal with it, but what really prompted you to deal with it? What really kind of said, you know what, I just got to do this?
It was kind of a reality slap in the face. I was doing a taping for Good Morning America, and I was a chef, so I was cooking. And there was the host, and I don't know, Mary Scarrett, I think was her name at the time. And we were chatting and I was cooking, and she asked me a question. I didn't even hear it and just continued. And then the other guy, Bosley, I think at the time, took her question, reworded it, circulated it back to me, and I'm like, oh. And until I actually saw that on tape, and I was sitting with friends, and she says, that was bad, Jim. Do you realize how much you really miss in a conversation because of your hearing? And I'm like, yeah, that was. And so it was that moment, but yeah, I need to get things upgraded, get some devices where I can actually hear in a conversation.
And so you ultimately ended up with us. Did you start with us, or did you go elsewhere?
No, this was, 28 years ago when I was in Portland. So I went through a couple of the big national brand kind of places when I was in Portland before I found you guys in Woodburn.
Okay. Okay. And so what did bring you to us eventually? Just was it the nice proximity because it was close to home?
It was. I was working in Woodburn at the time, and somebody I was working with said, well, and we were talking, I needed to get an upgrade, and she said, well, do you know there's a clinic here? So it worked out just perfect having it there, and it's been great. Woodburn office has been incredible and taking care of me over the years, probably what, 7, 8 years now?
Yeah. Yeah, and we're actually, the part of the point of this video is educationally, and since it's on YouTube, it's kind of a national, possibly international, and so hopefully people get some insights from this and just seek good local help. I generally recommend people get services within 30 minutes of their home, because when you need it, you want to get it soon.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
So, so how did your life improve once you actually received treatment per se?
It was actually pretty amazing. At that point, it actually was a little unnerving because my world expanded with noise. And all the things that I had not heard for years, I was processing. What is that? It was amazing. I did not know a light switch clicked until I got hearing aids. So, I mean, it really opened a whole new world of sound and clarity in conversations, just being able to hear people.
Because your hearing loss goes back to childhood, and sometimes we, who had normal hearing most of our lives, have kind of take those sounds for granted and stuff. I had one guy who, when a cat purred, he didn't realize it made a sound because his hearing loss dated back to when he was 6 years old. And so now his hearing loss was much more severe than yours, but again, he didn't realize that when a cat purred, it made a sound. He thought that people were just talking about the vibration.
Exactly. It is life-changing when you start hearing all those new sounds.
Yeah. And you've actually seen some changes over that 28 years when it comes to technology. Like we fit you with new hearing aids earlier this year, and we may do like a little review on that product in a separate video. But just briefly tell us about the changes that you've noticed with these hearing aids as compared to the previous ones.
Each step through the years, I think this is probably set number 6 maybe that I've had. And I just remember in the beginning, and you hear so many people complain about it, I don't need extra volume, I don't. And that's what the old ones used to do, just give you volume. And technology has improved so much now to filter that with the clarity in conversations, and it's been an amazing journey.
I tell people it compares to cell phones, because like the first cellular phone came out, I think it was either 1994 or 1996, and it was basically this massive brick that it was actually corded to a suitcase. And now these cell phones can do amazing things. I can actually schedule patients through my phone if I need to, if I run into someone on the street and they say, oh, I need an appointment with you. Just amazingly cool stuff we can do. And the cell phones have become integrated with the technology as well. So, but we'll save that for the product review video.
But okay, and that just brings me back to that one thing you're talking about, technology and change. And you and I had conversations. I kept saying, no, I do not want one of these big half-shell things, because in the beginning, that's what I had, was the big shell that drove me nuts. I was embarrassed to wear them. And over the years, everything changed. I went totally in the canal for a number of years. And the ones I have now, it is amazing, the fit, the ease. They're not irritating, they're just a dream comfort.
Yep. And honestly, a lot of them now look like the Bluetooth headphones that people wear to the gym and stuff. So it's just, it's becoming more of a normal thing for everyone to be wearing something.
It is. It's like, you know what, I got these black ones, which I really like. And there has been one person ask what it is or what are you doing? They just assume it's a Bluetooth connection, and I use my music going through it almost all day.
So segueing a little bit more towards us and our clinic, are there distinct differences you notice on how we do things? Like you primarily work with Brian and Allie at our Woodburn location. Tell us how your experiences have been with our company over the years.
It's customer service and caring. Other offices were, I mean, that's probably rude to say, but more of a processing next. And I've never felt the personal attention with my hearing aids that I have felt in Woodburn. And right now it is Brian and Allie, and there was another audiologist there several years ago when I started, and she was great too. Just they were there when you needed them and truly cared.
I actually consider that the company attitude philosophy, that we're there to help people first and foremost, and customer services first. If we got things to do, we need to set it aside if a patient needs help. So you were talking about, you know, the technology through the ages and stuff like that, and part of our reason for putting this out there is to make people aware of, you know, that hearing aids are actually very beneficial. Most people are very happy with their results. Some people are intimidated because they're not sure what to expect and everything. So with how cool the technology is and stuff right now, would you, again, this is advice going out to anyone regardless of where they go, is there some type of advice that you would offer someone, some parting wisdom as to if they're considering taking a step and making an improvement in this area, what would you recommend to them?
Step forward and do it. You have to be open, be willing to make the adjustment based on your lifestyle. It really helps to be able to hear. The several programs I have on this, it adjusts to each environment I'm in. I no longer have to sit in front of the TV and fight over volume. It just, boom, hit a little tap on my hearing aid. It automatically adjusts to our TV. And no, I would just say go forward, do it. It's worth every minute.
All right, great. Thank you for the interview. And if time permitting, we'll also do a little interview about the products itself.
Perfect. Be happy to talk about that.